Hey, good morning, good morning, good morning. What's going on? Welcome to Pillow Talk with Dr. Boyce and Dr. Alicia Watkins. My name is Dr. Boyce Watkins, and we want to say good morning to everybody. And my wife is here. How you doing?
I'm doing well. How you doing, Boyce? Good morning to you.
Oh, good morning to you also.
How'd you sleep last night? You sleep pretty good?
I slept very good.
Okay.
Thank you for asking.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So we, in case you don't know, we do something called Pillow Talk with Dr. Boyce and Dr. Alicia, where you can come in and ask us questions, and we can just have conversations about whatever's on our mind, and it's a lot of fun, and we like to do this. So okay, so first thing, yesterday we were watching the Olympics, and you said that we should start doing the Black Olympics. Is that right?
Yeah, because isn't that what we want to know? How Black people are doing in the Olympics? At least that's what I want to know. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I have my favorite Olympic moments. What?
Track and field. Go
Yeah, it's
ahead.
always track and field. Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Sydney McLaughlin, that amazing performance. Um, Raj Benjamin. Shout out to Raj Benjamin, who ran against Kirsten Warholm, which he just exploded, just destroyed the world record.
What did he run? What was his race?
The 400 hurdles.
The 400
Remember the
hurdles.
black guy and the white guy? We were cheering for the black guy,
Yeah. Okay.
but
Okay.
the white guy was pretty good.
He came in first. He
Yeah,
got the gold, of
yeah, he was
course.
tough. He was tough. I
He
said,
earned
man,
it.
yeah. I mean, Rob Benjamin is really really good, but shoot, that wormhole guy, oh my god. And what's some other ones? Of course, the Jamaican women. That's been interesting to watch. Watching them dominate and obliterate everybody.
Yeah, they're pretty fast. I like that Jamaican team. And of course I'm a little biased because I have Jamaicans in my family. And
Yeah.
and the
True.
kids are part Jamaican.
Yep.
So
Yep.
so I'm a little biased, but of course they have a history of really good sprinters. So
Yeah. Shout out to Jamaica.
that's
And
what's up.
remember that trip we took to Jamaica and how crazy it was.
You still have that on record, don't you?
I hate that. Oh my god. We one time we were driving through from Kingston up to, was it Monterey Bay?
Montego Bay.
Montego Bay.
Remember?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we got lost and we didn't go the fast route with the new Chinese freeway. We went through the mountains, which was terrible.
It was dark, it was rainy, I could not see. And I was a little kind of mad at you boys because you were supposed to be my co-pilot. You're supposed to navigate and you
I
got
was
us
trying. I
lost.
was so trying. And you know, and I almost look back on the day. It was kind of crazy because it was raining and we had to drive through these windy mountains and we're driving on the other side of the road, so we weren't even used to
Oh
that.
goodness.
And you were on the other side. I mean, you handled that really well, but
I did, but
it took a good two and a half, 3 hours. I mean, we were like a really long way away. It was terrible.
boys,
And
we almost couldn't have made, I mean, you couldn't see and it was just a big drop off.
oh my god,
Oh, and then people were walking on the side of the road. I thought I was gonna hit somebody.
that was crazy.
Oh my goodness.
That
Never have I ever been so devastated. And like right when we thought we were at the end, we'd make a turn and it'd be like another 17 miles before we got to the other
oh my
side of the
god,
island.
I don't even want to think about it.
But it was fun. You know what made me get through it was you were really calm. And
Really?
you were
Okay.
very positive and you were very assuring that I was doing a good job. So
Mm.
you made me feel good, even though I kept saying, Boyce, I don't think this is the right way. I don't think this is the right way. And you said, no, this is the right way. And it wasn't.
That was just a crazy, terrible experience. So Jason Johnson has a
Mhm.
podcast. It says 8304 Life on podcast. Oh, that sounds interesting.
Okay.
Okay.
I don't know what that means.
I don't
Like
know.
the title of that podcast doesn't let me know exactly what he's focusing on.
Mm.
Unless those numbers mean something that I don't get. But good luck to you and your podcast. I hope you have
Yeah.
something good to say. I hope it's something, some
And
good,
we should
meaningful information that can contribute to society.
yeah, we should take a look at Jason Johnson's podcast.
Okay.
I wish him well. I really do. Yeah. Okay. So one thing that's interesting, as we were talking about this whole thing this week with rappers, we get these interesting rapper entanglements. I think the black community is really mad at rappers. How many of y'all are really pissed off at some of these artists and the record labels and the fact they're pushing this crazy stuff onto black people? Because we had two things happen. One was Lil Nas X.
Hmm.
Um, he tweeted at me because I guess he got upset over something I said about his crazy twerking in prison video.
Do you think it was him that put that tweet together? Do you think, or do you think it was like his team? His team,
It could have been him.
you
It could
know.
have been him. I mean, a lot of people manage their own Twitter accounts. It ain't nothing to send out a tweet. And he's like 23 years old. He's probably sitting around on social media like all the other 22, 23-year olds.
So you think he formed those words together himself?
Yeah, because if you
Okay.
look at it, it's
Hmm.
not like it's like perfect English. It didn't look like a PR statement.
Okay.
It was like get the fuck out of here. Why y'all fucking motherfucker ain't talking about don't fuck this shit. Don't do
No,
that.
I mean, I think it was. I do remember what he said, and it seemed like he spoke as if like gotcha. Like first of all, he didn't. He clearly doesn't isn't up on your content because he would have known that you are very critical of all rap music, especially females that put out rap music.
Mm-hmm.
So because his comment was something like, "You don't say anything when they." What was his comment about? You don't say anything
About women.
about women. Hmm.
What was it? Something about I can't remember what Nas said.
We can't even remember. It's not even that. It's not even that
Yeah.
important. But the thing is, he was trying to like, I gotcha. Like
Well,
you're coming after the LGBT, all that kind of stuff, but you're not coming after your own stuff. So I guess he was trying to call you a hypocrite or something.
yeah,
Mm-hmm.
that
Mm-hmm. But
happens.
that
I mean,
fell. That fell kind of flat.
well, less informed Negroes tend to,
Yeah.
they tend to fall down in situations like that. I mean, it happens, and that's the thing, though. People, it's not really about truth anymore. The internet chatter ain't about truth. It's about what sounds good to your base.
Hmm. Mm-hmm.
That's it. So Lil Nas X, no matter he could have said, I saw a cockroach flying and on top, with a pig on his back, and the piggy told me that Boyce Watkins is an asshole, and everybody would have just cheered because they cheer for anything gay. That's it. Like it doesn't matter what you say. Like they're just, it's like we're cheering for you because we're
Mm-hmm.
on your side, and that's it. It's fine. I get that. And so he wasn't really talking so much to me. I think he was talking to his people.
Mm-hmm.
Like me and my people are gonna look at that and be like, "Come on, man, that's crazy." And it's not
Mm-hmm.
like anybody's gonna sit down and do an extensive, exhaustive
Yeah,
background
people don't have.
search. On me, unless it's something bad. I guess if I had a bunch of bad stuff, they would dig that up. And people do the people. And in fact, just to tell you how the truth doesn't matter on the internet, like people will go back and find stuff about me that isn't even that big of a deal, but they'll make it sound bad.
Got you, boys. We got you now.
Yeah, like we heard you work with a Chinese guy 4 years ago. Oh, and that means the Chinese guy is controlling your whole operation. And again, no factual basis to it, but that's kind of what it is. The internet's like kind of a stupid place sometimes.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of your presence is on the internet, and I'm just curious, like, how you deal with that. How do you deal with that? Seriously.
I don't. I ignore a lot of it. You
Mm-hmm.
gotta ignore stuff. You just gotta move forward. And if I feel that there's a benefit to responding, I might.
Mm-hmm.
Just for fun,
Okay.
like fun engagement. Engagement with your adversary every now and then. You
Mm-hmm.
can't become obsessed with it. Because you're not gonna win. You're gonna win and you're gonna lose. You're gonna have people where they get you. They're gonna say, "Yeah, that's right. You get him. You destroyed him." And then you're gonna have people that are gonna be like, "Man, I hate you no matter what. No matter what you
Mm.
say." So you can't get caught up in trying to appease your enemies or those who hate you.
Yeah, I think that's true. I think you put up a really good George Fraser, is that his name? Yeah, George Fraser post about somebody saw something about you on the internet, tell them to go look at it again or something like that.
Yeah.
It was really
Oh
good.
yeah, George Frazier. I love that
With
guy.
George Fraser. And I think that that is kind of common because I remember you had some conversations with Claude Anderson and he said that too, just kind of ignore it.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of the elders, I can call them elders, Claude Anderson, George Fraser, and some other people who really see you and really respect the work that you do. They're just like, don't get distracted by all of this.
Yeah.
Just
That
keep pushing.
yeah,
Hmm.
that's the consistent energy. My Mount Rushmore is Louis Farrakhan, Claude Anderson, George Frazier,
Yes, the three
and
of them.
oh no, Kenny Gamble.
Kenny Gamble,
Yeah.
yeah. Yeah, I never got to meet him.
Yeah, we'll go to Philly. You should meet him. He's great. He's a great guy.
Okay, all
Yeah.
right.
So
Yeah, so those four are the people like you look up to,
yeah,
which is really cool.
yeah, but they're all strong black men who just have a certain they're all really, leaders, kings in their own right. They
Mhm.
all, just kind of carry themselves a certain way, like a type of dignity that I respect. So yeah, those four guys are great. King Styles wants to play Call of Duty again. Oh, okay, Killer King. Yeah, I remember. Yeah, man, you're good. I gotta get in there and figure out how I can friend you. I have a new account, so but yeah, let's hook up, man. Yeah, I play Call of Duty, and I find that that's a great time where I can just talk to people and answer questions while I play video games, like
You
like a big old kid.
I love it. I just I really do support. I don't know. I guess at one point I'll get to the point where I'll say, "Boys, get off of Call of Duty." But I've never said that to you. I've
Yeah.
never really said that. I've never felt that you're playing Call of Duty too much,
Well,
and you need to
it
spend
was
more
something
time with
I
me.
needed something different
Mhm.
because I was really enjoying what I do,
Mhm.
and I was
Mhm.
getting good at what I do, but I was doing it too much. I was like, no, I want to do something different. I want to just change my life. So I said, let me pick up something that I don't know how to do, and I'm just gonna sit here and see if I can figure out how to do it.
Well, I mean, you did. I remember you telling me that at one point you were all into video games.
As a kid, yeah, when I was younger, well, not as a kid, but more like early 30s.
Well, it made me feel really good because I heard you when you said that, and so one year for Christmas I got you the Xbox,
Yeah, you did.
and then I noticed you didn't even open the box.
Right,
I
right.
was like, okay, maybe he didn't want to play video games. But then one day you just opened that box up, and you were just all on Call of Duty. So it makes me feel like you're
Yeah,
like my gift.
yeah, I love it.
I really
Well,
appreciate that.
yeah, I didn't even turn the Xbox on for probably 2 years, and even when I first started, I didn't even know how to turn it on. I didn't know what button to hit. I didn't know how to play a game. I didn't know how to download. I knew nothing, right? So, to go from that to like hopping in there, and I had this whole computer system Quincy set up for me. It was a big difference. It was like, it was nice. I encourage everybody, if you want to make your life interesting, just reinvent yourself every now and then. Just find something totally different from what you normally do, and just say, okay, I'm gonna do that new thing.
Well, I mean, I think that we all should do that. Challenge ourselves, no matter how old you are. You could be 50, 60, 20, 30. In your 40s, no matter how old you are, you should challenge yourself to do something new and do something different
Yeah,
all the time. Whenever ever there's an opportunity, um, never squish or never stop your curiosity,
yeah, that's so true.
and
That's so
and
true.
just be open to learning new things. I just feel like there's almost in some pockets there's this sort of attitude that everything that changes and everything that's new is bad. It's
Really?
awful. It's a big agenda. It's a big agenda to destroy humanity and to destroy black people, when really it's like, okay, I think sometimes, not all the time, we should just like, we need to adjust a little more and just make it an opportunity to just, okay, let me pick up on this new thing and learn it. It can
Mm,
help your brain. You'll never grow old if you're always curious about things, like the curiosity of a child.
nice. Good point.
That's what I think.
Well, let's Jason
Oh,
Johnson and give us information about his podcast. I think we should support the brother. He says 83 is the year he was born, and
nice.
'04 is the year his son was born. So
Oh,
shout,
is it a father son
yeah,
podcast?
shout out. Let's see, '04. So that means his son will be 17.
Yeah, oh 04. His son's
Nice, yeah,
17
because ours is 18.
and he was
Oh
oh
03.
03.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that'd be nice if the so I wonder he should give us a little more information on it.
Well, he did.
I mean, what it's about. I wonder if it's about father son things.
Oh yeah, yeah. Well, I think we should support his podcast. Everybody go to 8304 Life on podcast. Look it up.
8304. I
Yeah.
like it.
We see a black man doing something good, we should support him. If you have a business, say the name of your business. I'll say the name of I'll say it out loud.
And then give us information on what it is. Unless it's
Well,
like
not too much information because sometimes people be typing all long
they
in
be
the chat.
typing long stuff.
I don't want to
Okay.
read like a paragraph.
Okay. Well, if your business is 8734, then we don't know what that is.
Or 83 over. Yeah, that's true.
Whatever.
Well, yeah, but now we do. Now he's briefed us and we're fully informed. Now let me do me a favor. Let me know if you guys can still hear me. I'm actually switching screens because I want to look at something. Okay, so I'm gonna ask you about some quick questions or quick thoughts.
You gonna
Okay.
ask me some quick
Yep,
thoughts?
yep, yep.
Oh,
Okay.
okay. All right. Let's
So
see.
I had a little interesting we had a fun situation this week where the baby, the rapper, the baby,
Mm-hmm.
and he made the comments about don't suck a blanky blank in the parking lot. And they banned him. Like he got banned from about 10 different events that he was supposed to perform at. It's like you could just hear the dollar signs, cha-ching, cha-ching, just all that money going out the window. So, what do you think about that? I personally think record labels hate the black community. I really do. I think record labels hate the black community because they'll have music where they're calling black people the N word. They call black women B's and H's. They will push drugs on black children, push financial responsibility on black children, and then celebrate genocide, celebrate the death of black men. But then you say one thing about gay people, and suddenly it's the end of the world. So record labels, Apple Music, Spotify, all of them, all the people that are Warner Brothers, Warner Music, Epic Records, all these record labels that are pushing this stuff onto the world. That's Klan music. That's KKK music.
Okay, so my initial reaction, which is what I think you're asking me for, is
Hmm.
it's not working. I don't think it's working. I think this big agenda to push this negative music on the black community, I don't think it's having the effect. I don't think it's having the effect that they want, because only because there's three children here, and our youngest, she doesn't even listen to rap music, number one. So it's not penetrating her. And maybe we're just an anomaly, but I don't think so. And the
Hmm.
other kids, they don't listen. They do not listen to that kind of stuff. Like
Well,
the type of music they listen to is rap music, it's R&B, all of that, but it's really positive. And I didn't say don't listen to that kind of music. It's just what they're really interested in. They really aren't interested in that. But however, every single white person I know, they know every lyric. They listen to it. So I'm interested in understanding who's listening to this.
yeah, well, it's made for white people.
Yeah,
But it's so
exactly.
but it makes black people into a minstrel show. It's the
It does for
it's the
sure.
same way Italian people used to hate mafia movies because every Italian movie was
Mm-hmm.
mafia stuff. So everybody thought if you're Italian, you're in the mafia. So like if I watch a mafia movie, I'm not looking at the mafia family and saying, "Oh, that's my family. I want my family to be like them." I'm not emulating anything I see on screen. I find it entertaining that those
Mm-hmm.
Italians are all in the mafia. But if you're Italian, if you're
Mm-hmm.
Italian, you become offended because you're like, no, we're not all in the mafia. We're not all criminals and gangsters. Like
Yeah.
so I think that that's the now with the children. I think the thing that separates our kids is they are suburban kids in a two-parent household.
Okay.
Right, but listen,
Yeah.
hold on, wait. If I go down to West Chicago, where you got kids that got one mama who's working two shifts and can't hardly spend time with them, those kids are imitating this shit. Like drill rap
Uh-huh.
like that little, I don't know if it's little Uzi or little, I can't remember, there's another little, everybody's a little this, a little that, little Dirk, stuff like that. Like kids really get murdered over that. Like they're really dying. This is not like made up. This is not a fake world for them.
Okay, so I just want to remind you, boys, that I spent quite some time as a social worker in Chicago, and I worked with high school kids, and in you know high school, schools that were failing. They were failing schools, and I remember having a conversation with them, and they didn't listen to mainstream music either. They listened to what was called underground. It was interesting because it was before Kanye West blew up.
Hmm.
He used to put out albums or records or whatever they're called, CDs, underground CDs, because he wasn't signed with anybody, and the stuff was excellent. Like, so they actually during that time rejected a lot of the mainstream music that was going on even back then in the early 2000s. They were rejecting that, and they were listening to some really good music. So I think that it's it just because they're suburban kids. I still think that there's people their age even back then, and I would say even now, that also reject that and listen to some really good solid music. There's not everybody um who lives in Chicago, South Side. I worked on the South Side of Chicago. Not everybody on the South Side of Chicago is promoting that kind of stuff. There really is
I,
some
I don't,
good stuff
I
out
don't
there.
disagree with you. But I,
I'm just telling you from what
yeah,
I experienced
yeah,
working in those schools.
yeah. Well, you and I
Um,
both know young people who have fallen right into that culture, who we have worked with, where their brains are gone like that because everybody's smoking, they smoking because everybody is having baby daddies and chaos, like they're doing it, like
yeah,
we've seen
that's
that. And
true.
I knew a young lady who was really smart, and I remember first time I met her, she was in high school, and she told me that her favorite scholar was Cornell West, and I was so impressed. And this young lady was had a lot of potential, and then one day I saw her 2 3 years later, and she become this like real ratchet rapper that was doing like she wanted to be successful,
Uh-huh.
So she was really living a lifestyle that I thought was very toxic and very
Mm-hmm.
dangerous. And the thing about it is, I don't think we can sit here and pretend like music doesn't influence culture.
Yeah, I think
That's what I'm
I
saying.
think it does influence culture, but I don't think it's having the effect. It's not penetrating as much as it is. So I'm not as pessimistic as some people might be, because I think there is a disconnect between what mainstream hip hop music is putting out, and I mean mainstream, versus what people on the streets really listen to and really like. And I'm just basing it off of my experience living in Chicago for 8 years, my experience working with young people in Chicago on the South Side. I found really good individuals who were doing good things and doing great things, and they came to me for help, of course. And but I just didn't find that. So but maybe, maybe I'm wrong, but I didn't see it
Yeah,
having the
well, I
hold.
know a lot of young people who are using pills, like, and a lot of rappers promote pills. Like, there's a lot of young people addicted to pills now. And I'm talking about young people that I know very well. That
Wait,
are.
hold on. So I don't know, who are these people. Maybe
I,
we have to have a
I'll tell
conversation
you
who they
more.
are.
Yeah, we don't
You're
talk.
not telling me
Yeah, we don't. I
everything.
remember I mentor a lot of young people, and I see. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying every young person is being sucked up into this.
Yeah.
The ones who have a lot of guidance, like two parents, that tends to be a big factor. But when you're talking about
Okay.
these kids that are just out here trying to figure it out, or even if you're an underground rapper and you're trying to get a record deal, you're gonna do the same bullshit that they're doing in mainstream media. So I personally think it does matter, and it's making a difference. You see
Okay.
even the way men talk about women now. Men don't have a lot of men, not all men, but there's a lot of men out here that don't have no respect for women. Like, they think it's weird, they think it's simping that I
Hmm.
even said that I love you in
Can we
public.
please not talk about that? Yeah,
No,
I
but
think
well, I think that that's
it
important though.
all
Well,
conversations lead
right,
down
but
that
what I'm
road.
saying to you is, like,
Hmm.
there's millions and millions and millions of black people that are having their thinking shifted by the culture.
Okay, so I think we kind of, let's just politely agree to disagree on that, because I think that it's not working. I think there's a disconnect with what
Shit, that's
people
why
are
Kevin.
doing. Hold on,
Where do you think
hold
Kevin
on.
Samuels got his following from?
Okay,
It came from the pimp culture. Like,
okay.
that's what it is. It's like these women, like, they get out of hand, you just smack them down, and then they gonna get straight again. But go ahead, please continue. I'm just telling you. I'm just telling you.
I'm a
It's
little
all
more
connected.
I'm a little more optimistic than you are, and
Okay. All
I'm
right.
just basing it off of what I have seen, and it is yeah, yeah, we could all day long come up with anecdotal information to say no, that's not right because of this and because of that. Yeah, I mean, it could be anecdotal, and we don't have the data, but I worked with lots of people who who just didn't fit that mold, and I know really beautiful families that came from a single mother family, and it wasn't all treacherous. It was, there were beautiful people coming together, supporting everybody in the family. This is what I saw. I just have to
Okay.
base it on that. And there are always going to be people who fall off. Um, and you can find examples of that all the
Okay.
time. But I would caution you, because you just told me, you gave me some new information. You gave me information
Mhm.
that you are mentoring somebody who's taking pills. And I'm real curious about that,
I
because
mentor, like, there's a lot of young
you
people.
mentor people. If you're mentoring someone who's taking pills, I mean, I think you should encourage them to get help, boys.
Oh, maybe, but I don't get in people's business like that. I
Okay,
don't.
so are you mentoring them, or are you not mentoring them?
I
Because
mean,
I think
I don't.
mentoring
When I say
means
mentor,
getting into
when I
their
say mentor, I'm
business.
talking about, like, when I see you, I can give you supportive advice. It's not like I don't have any official mentorships. I
Okay.
have guy
The thing
kids.
the thing is that I'm not certain a good mentorship is just you spouting out advice. Like, I'm not
Hmm.
certain if just like you giving people advice is good mentorship. I think getting into their heads and asking them questions might be a better way to mentor someone. It's just saying, okay, tell me what's going on. Okay, I understand you're taking pills.
Well, no, no. Sometimes they
Can you
don't.
tell me
No,
what's
sometimes people
happening?
don't tell you. Like, it might be something where their friend might tell you, well, she's using pills, right? And it's not something where I can come back and say, well, so and so said.
Yeah, but that's very, let me tell you,
Well,
pill
and that's the
popping
thing too,
is
especially when you.
extremely dangerous.
Yeah,
So,
I
I
agree.
mean, the
Uh,
best thing you could do is to say, listen, do you have a problem with pills? And asking them straight out. Like, don't not talk about topics like that. If you feel like
Well,
someone, now I'm really interested in who's
I
using
will talk
pills.
about it later. We'll
Yeah,
talk
we'll
about it
talk
later.
about it
Yeah, yeah,
later.
but I mean, but I'd say in general is you can't tell me the music does not have an influence on the culture. It's like with young people, you do see an impact, and I see it everywhere. I see it.
Yeah, so
That's why
it
that for example, like somebody mentions Lil JoJo, how Lil JoJo got shot. He made a diss track on Chief Keef a few years ago. Lil JoJo was like 14 or 15,
mhm.
and the next week after the diss track, he was murdered.
Oh my
Right.
god, yeah.
And the thing is that this stuff happens all the time, and that's the thing. And the record labels cheer this shit on, and they want to see these black kids dead. They don't give a damn, and it's all for white entertainment. It's all you know part of the minstrel show. So Ellie's asking, why do they sound like they're in the bed? Because we are.
We are in the bed.
This is why we call it pillow talk with Dr. Boyce and
I,
Dr. Alicia.
maybe we shouldn't sound like we just woke up.
No, if it's pillow talk, it's pillow talk. Papo says family who seek out counsel for social workers are the type of families who actually care about their kids. I agree with that.
Well, some
Um,
of them were mandated and some of them were not.
mhm.
So I mean, it's just I'm here. I'm here and you have to come see me in order to, whatever. So some of them were mandated, but I found a lot of good there. A lot of good.
True.
Yeah.
Let's see. Ray says black media shouldn't be giving the worst of us any airtime or discussion. All the good people who are black doing great things is what black media should be promoting.
Yeah, who said that?
Ray.
Thank you, Ray, for that comment. I absolutely 100% agree with that. I think we are paying too much attention to things that are not working, and there's a hundred thousands, lots of things that are working, and that we should focus a little bit more on that. And we could change. I mean, we think we're terrible. We look at ourselves, and I really think that it's unfortunate about COVID, but if we start connecting with each other more and start getting to know people more, we start realizing that, oh my goodness, there's so many good people all over the place, no matter where you live, no matter what your family structure looks like. There's excellent things happening.
Yeah.
And we need to
Yeah.
let go of all of this negativity that really is a lie.
Well, I like to hit both because yesterday I interviewed a lot of really positive. I interviewed Dr. Nicole Price, who's a brilliant black woman. I interviewed a 12-year-old, I can't remember her name, Aaliyah, I think that was her name, who it was super articulate and has a great business. I did a lot of coverage on really smart black people, but then also I talk about the music because that I see that influence in so many of our young people, the image, the way our community is viewed. A lot of black women can't get certain jobs because they think that every black woman is like a Cardi B type, or that they're going to identify with a Cardi B. I've heard black women say that. I know women who try to go into the music industry who can't because they're being constantly sexually harassed by
Well,
men.
we're talking about the music industry too.
Yeah, it's
And
it's really the industry. It's not so
mhm.
much talking about the rappers. It's talking about the industry.
Mhm.
Like marketing matters. Like in warfare, did you know that the first thing you do when you conquer a country is you take over their media?
Yeah, propaganda.
Yeah,
So
because you want to control what people think.
here,
Media matters.
I want to bring this back to the Olympics. I think how is this related to the Olympics? I think it's almost, here's how I feel, boys. I just think that we are having an issue. We have the talent, okay? I'm bringing this back to the Olympics. We have, as black people, we have the creativity, we have the talent, we have the abilities, we have the intellectual abilities. We excel as a people, as a whole, so well. And it's when we start interacting with people who do not necessarily have our best interests at heart, but we need them because they have the systems. Okay, they have the systems, they have the schools, they have the structure there. I think that it would be kind of cool, almost like what you talked about. It would be really kind of cool if we all just came together and just said, no, we're not participating anymore.
In the Olympics.
Well, just stop participating in it. We can start saying, respect us, and we will participate. Let us control what type of music we put out, what type of image we are in charge of, and then we will participate. Maybe we should start demanding that.
Well, I don't know why boycotting the Olympics would the music industry would give a shit. Like, why would the music industry doesn't get hurt? The Olympics are canceled.
Yeah, but they can't thrive without
They just
us.
see.
There is no music industry without us.
Well, then now that's true.
There is
But
no Olympics
well, the thing
without
is,
us.
it's not. Well, the thing is, it's not like they're asking the whole black community to go out and make an album. They're looking for that poor kid in the hood who can barely eat, and they're basically saying to him, um, you know, like we'll help you get money in your pocket if you come out here and just say some dumb shit.
So why not just not participate?
We can. Most of us don't participate. How many of you are in the music industry? Give me a yes or no if
Well,
you are in the music industry. How many of you are in the music industry? Right. Nobody in this room is in the music industry. So we're not participating. It's not about having, think about it. Lil Nas X is not a million people. He's one guy. He's one dude. And if Lil Nas X decided, well, you know what? I want to be woke. I'm not going to do this stuff
well, he
anymore.
thinks he is woke,
Right,
probably.
right, look, right, exactly. And so
Mm-hmm.
they'll replace him. That's it. That's fine. All they
They'll
need is,
just find someone else to replace him.
yeah, all they need is one. They don't need like a million black people to get on board. They just need like one or two. Like Lizzo is one person. Lizzo doesn't represent black women. She represents Lizzo. So, this idea of getting 40 million people, every single one of us, to never ever want to make a song is, I think, a little bit tough, right?
Well, that's my
But what
fantasy.
you
That's my fantasy is that we would just
Well, what you need is
we would just not.
you need to have a Dr. Claude Anderson talks about this. We cover this in the book club.
Okay.
You need a system of rewards and punishments where
Ah.
you can punish and reward record labels for putting their money behind something that is not beneficial to the community.
Even if it's interesting. Okay, what
Mhm.
else does he say about what we could do? He's on the right
Well, he
track.
just says economic power is the key. You have to have economic power. If you don't, then people just walk all over you and they'll use you up and make you look stupid and destroy you. And there's not, so you have to, as black people, think about, building your wealth and your infrastructure so that you can fight back. Like, so when somebody puts out, like, because believe me, give me a yes or no, guys. If we put something out there, like, okay, so Lil Nas X had a video of black men twerking in prison butt naked.
Mm-hmm.
If they did a video of Jewish men twerking butt naked in a concentration camp, what do you think would happen? Do you think the Jewish community would, um, be upset about it, or do you think that they would just, cheer it on and say, "Wow, that the record was dope"?
And then attack somebody who has a problem with it.
Right,
A
exactly.
Jewish person has a problem with that, and
Right,
then they attack them.
right. So there's not
So,
enough
what makes Jewish people different from us, then, boys?
wealth,
Mm-hmm.
power,
Mm-hmm.
wealth and power are connected. That's what it is.
Mm-hmm.
The Jewish community ain't gonna play that shit. Or they will bust you upside the goddamn head if you disrespect them on any level. You could go out and you can simply say, I think the Israelis need to have a different policy on the Palestinians. They will take you out back and beat you like a bitch. Look at Mark Lamar Hill. Mark Lamar Hill said one thing in support of the Palestinians. The Jew, the what was it? The eight was it, Anti-Defamation League.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
They beat his ass in public. They whipped him like a 9-year old who, like with grandma switch. So that's what it is. They got power. That's what it
Mm-hmm.
is. We need power.
So, what else is on your mind? What's on your list? I like that, by the way.
Did I have a list? Okay.
No, not that you have a list. I like what you said because that was my point.
Oh, yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. Sean King, people were mad at him. People were mad at him this week because they found out Sean King owns a house. I guess they would have felt better if he had a 2-bedroom apartment. You think
What? I'm sorry. He owns a
they
house.
found out that Sean King has an $800,000 house. So the whole internet said that proves he's a crook because he has an $800,000 house.
Okay, I really want to know. I honestly want to know what. Now, is Sean King white? I can't tell. Does he
That's
ever say
debatable.
I'm a white man? Does he ever come out and say I am a white man?
I don't think he ever did.
Why not? Why not say that? As a white man, I feel this way. Does
I'd
he
like.
ever do that?
I've never seen his parents. They have a lot
You
of funny
can't tell
names
because
there.
he keeps his hair so short. You don't really know, and it's
Yeah.
kind of like a fade. So you can't so you can't tell what he is. And I think if he is a white person, I don't know. I can't tell from the photos. I don't really analyze his pictures. But
Yeah.
it just he should just say it.
They call him Talcum X and Martin Luther Cream and
But I get information from his I follow him on Facebook.
uh,
I mean, I get information,
I
news.
think he shares good
It's
information,
okay.
honestly.
Mhm.
But it seems to me, you know what I'm concluding? I read the whole long. There was a long article on BuzzFeed that really attacked Sean King pretty heavily. Like they almost to the point where even though it came off as objective journalism, you almost felt like they had a little bit of an agenda. But they went pretty hard. They laid out some information that would make you say, okay, what's going on here? Okay,
What
Sean,
did they
explain.
say? Do you remember?
They said a lot. Basically, they were talking about projects that Sean would start and would not finish.
Oh, well,
No, but
that
here's the thing.
happens a lot.
But
Mhm.
I think they were kind of giving him like the Umar Johnson kind of treatment, like where they were sort of like, you're collecting money, you do crowd funds
Oh, he does do
to,
crowdfund.
yeah, like the first one was he said he raised money in 2011 to climb a mountain, and they said
Are
after
you serious?
yeah, and he trained for like 4 or 5 days, and then said, I'm not gonna do it now. And then he had this newspaper idea called the North Star that he started with Ben Dixon. Ben Dixon, actually, I know Ben actually, he asked me to share some of his content a long time ago. And him and Ben Dixon started the North Star. He raised a shit ton of money for this. Sigourney Weaver and people like that were giving him like ten
Oh,
thousand dollars.
wow.
Yeah, Robert Johnson, like a lot of people gave him like $10,000 a month for the North Star, and then he had like thousands of members that were paying $10 a month for a membership. And they said they were going to have podcasts, articles, and news. And apparently, it just didn't work out. All I know is Ben Dixon was out soon after, and I asked Ben. I said, "So what happened with you and Sean King?" And he just said, "I can't comment on that."
Oh my goodness. That sounds like a lawyer. Some lawyer told him that.
Yeah. What happened is I think they got a severance deal, and in exchange for that, they were told that they can't talk about it.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. So I think that what's going on with Sean is like, I think that they feel like with the money that he's been connected to and raised, that they hadn't seen. Like he actually even admitted he doesn't have the administrative capacity to build out the things that he promises and plans.
Oh, so he bit off more than he could chew. He didn't understand what all it took. I mean, that's a lot to get a newspaper, a podcast, all that together. That's
Yeah.
quite a bit.
Well, Sean, what Sean is good at, it seems, is he's good at basic stuff. And I think he should have stuck with the basic. Like, he's good at putting out big stories on his big Instagram following that call people to action. He could probably be great at having like a really good YouTube channel and writing some articles, right?
Hmm.
When you get to the point where you're building out systems, if you don't have that skill set,
Hmm.
you
Hmm.
probably need a team around you that can really implement these things. And if you look at, and if you wanted to find something in common with him and Omar, that would be the thing. And I don't even say this as a critique. This is not me being critical of either one of them. It's that, when I look over Omar and him planning to build the school and raising some money, I say, where's your team? Like, because I can tell you, I can't do nothing without my team. We having a team meeting today. It's going to be 12 people at that damn meeting. And counting. Like, we have other people that are, that come in and out as consultants when we need help. Dr. Nicole Price, a lot of people come in and they offer their expertise because I can't do it all by myself.
So I think they have a networking issue, and they have
I mean,
a issue with
yeah,
getting
yeah,
people
yeah. I
together.
think that
Hmm.
when you get to the point where you're trying to build out something that involves systems and infrastructure, it's like you have to get a whole new
They're
education at that point.
limited. Hmm.
You need to, understand the challenges of leadership. Leadership really is service. It's about relationships.
Hmm.
And I'm not an expert at it. I
Yeah.
wish I could be better at it, and maybe that's why I admire, the Kenny Gambles and the Farrakhan's, because they are able to bring a whole crew of people. Like Farrakhan don't go nowhere by himself. George Fraser has a whole team. He has a faculty with the Power Network, with his Power Networking group that's like got dozens of people in it. Kenny Gamble has a whole team of people. And I think that is something that we should understand as Black people, that when you're trying to do everything by yourself, it's not going to work.
And then you have to know what you're good at and what your weaknesses are, and then
Mm,
find some people who can like fill in those weaknesses.
yeah,
Say,
yeah.
I'm good at galvanizing people, but I'm not good with the details. I need a detail oriented person to come in and help me with this.
Yeah,
Hmm.
yeah. Get you some help. Whatever you're trying to do, guys. I'm
Hmm.
telling you, if you're trying to build systems and businesses and organizations, get help and don't make it about you. And I don't even know. I don't even know Sean King in terms personally. He was supposed to come on my podcast. He did. I was disappointed that he got quote unquote got sick the day of and then never called back. Because we had marketed it and told everybody he was coming. I didn't like that. I admit I was a little bit kind of like salty. Like, come on, man. Like, just don't agree to do the interview. Like, but if you say you're gonna do it, like, show up. But he's got a lot of pressure. He's got a lot of things happening, right? And I don't even take it personally. And I think at worst though, it makes me wonder, is that part of what other people see? A guy who says, I'm gonna do something and then doesn't do it. Because if you're doing that on a regular basis with a lot of different people, there's a lot of people who aren't gonna be so nice about it, you know?
Hmm.
And I
Hmm.
think that was the consistent theme I picked up when I was reading what a lot of activists who used to be super close to, I mean, a ton of them, we're saying. But I'm careful about going through that stuff because I know how that can work. Because I've had people in close to me that I cut off. I fired them, and then they go and they say, "Well, I used to work near Boyce Watkins, and Boyce is a fraud, and Boyce is this what," and it's just not true. People don't know the whole story. So I
Well,
think,
I then find out what the process is, because if that person said it didn't work and I'm not allowed to talk about it, I think some of your people need to say that too.
well,
Ooh,
you
you
know
need to get
what?
a good
Well,
lawyer.
you know what it is. Yeah, you know what it
you
is.
know.
Our attorneys actually. I talked to them. They said you have to really start suing people to
Yeah.
enforce your non-disclosure agreements, and we're working on that. And that's what failing on my part, failing on my organization's part, where we didn't get the lawsuits filed fast enough. And in fact, I have a meeting with my lawyer today to talk about that type of stuff. I just don't like spending a lot of money on lawyers because I'd rather just work it out.
It's
But
like it's
but some
coming with
people you
the
can. Some people,
territory.
yeah, some people you
Hmm.
got it. Some people you have to you know sue them.
Hmm.
Like, no, you signed a contract saying that we signed the NDA. Now you're in violation. I can sue you for millions
Yeah,
of dollars for it.
they're telling your inside business. That's not
Right.
I mean, that's not
Well,
cool.
it's not even just that they're telling it; it's that they're lying about it.
And lying
So it's
about it.
like a
Hmm.
slanderous lie, like a or slant. It's like it's different from inside information. Inside it, because the thing is, you can people don't notice. You can keep a squeaky clean operation and not do anything unethical, but then somebody could simply say, "Oh, I was inside there, and ooh, let me tell you, there was scandals and this
Uh-huh.
and that,
Uh-huh.
and that's the part that's just kind of like, but it happens." So I was sensitive to what Sean was dealing with, but at the same time, I think it might be, when he admits that he has failures as a leader or shortcomings as a leader,
Hmm.
then that means that the pressure's on him to go ahead and shore up those shortcomings, fix that, you know.
Yeah, I mean, he should probably look at those failures and find out, because he's the common denominator there. Not that he is a failure, but things happen like that, and then really try to like pinpoint that and fix that kind of stuff.
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
it's a lesson for all of us. I fail at stuff sometimes, some things,
Well, shit,
and I
we
always
all
look back
fail.
on it and I go, "Ooh, what happened? Let me try to
Yeah,
get this better."
yeah. Well, sometimes you win, sometimes you learn,
Yeah, well,
right?
you always listen. Nothing is guaranteed. You're always going to win. You're always going to lose. And I guess
What?
you're right. You always will win.
Hmm.
There are always going to be times where you're always going to win, but just know there's always going to be times where things did not turn out the way you wanted them to be. That's
Yeah,
just natural law.
yeah. I
Hmm.
see it. And what people think of as a loss, I just see it as a delayed win. Like it's a delayed win because I'm gonna go back and try it again
Yeah, I mean
with the information I learned from the mistake.
that's the best attitude to have.
Yeah, everything's a win if you play it right. I believe that.
Hmm.
You know.
Oh, there were times when I lost and I was so upset about it. And then I look back on it and feel like, woo, I just dodged a bullet. It
Yeah,
was like, oh my
yeah,
God, I lost. And I was like kind of mad about it. And then something else came down the pipeline. And I remember thinking, oh my goodness, that could have been me.
yeah. Well, it's like
So I
relationships.
never really lost.
It's like relationships. Like I can think of a time where I got dumped by this girl that I didn't even like that much, but I was really sad. because she was my girlfriend. And I
Well,
felt
it's just the idea that somebody rejected you.
yeah,
That's
yeah,
what was just like,
yeah. But then
hmm
I met a better woman, so I was like, thank you. I was like, I appreciate the fact that you dumped me, because because if I don't get off that crack pipe, I can't move forward to the next thing. Love is like Mother Nature's crack. You be like all addicted to a person,
Do
and
you
then
think love sometimes blinds you?
yes, it blinds everyone. It's designed. I read the biophysical reaction that we have to love. Love makes you stupid.
Yeah, so that's why you should take things slow.
Yeah, absolutely. Love and lust. That's why you get all these kids out here where their parents hate each other, and you'd be like, well, why? If y'all hate each other so much, why was y'all fucking so? Because sex is a drug. Orgasms are a drug. And people are get addicted to the whole process.
Well, I mean, it's like, do you value what do you value? You gotta value yourself more than you value this physical pleasure,
Well,
right?
yeah, but endorphins are always, you know, enjoyable. People always, I mean, and I think that it's I read somewhere where they said there are people who are actually love addicts who are addicted to the high of falling in love.
The
Like
newness,
they,
yeah.
they like the newness, and when the newness
hmm
goes away, they move on to something
Yeah,
else.
because they have trust issues and they have a lot of commitment
I think it
issues.
could be a trust issue, or maybe it's just an addiction. Maybe you just like the high.
Well, I
I
mean,
don't.
that's where it comes from.
Well, not necessarily. I mean, maybe some people don't want, long-term relationships. Maybe some, like I didn't, I never wanted, you know what,
Are
when
you talking about yourself?
no, listen,
Oh, okay.
but no, especially when I was younger, what I liked when I was in my 20s and 30s? I liked a nice 2 to 3 year relationship because I figured after,
18 months,
no,
yeah.
no, 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 about 3 years,
3 years.
3 years, because I figured after about 2 or 3 years, we would be getting on each other's nerves and we would be ready to try something different.
Yeah, so you have very unrealistic expectations about relationships, and I wonder if
No, it was realistic for me. It
um
was what I wanted. It was what I want. I wanted.
no,
I
I
wanted.
begged, I don't
I
know, I
I
wonder about
I
that.
wanted marriage in my 40s. I did not want marriage in my 20s. That's why I laugh when the guys are like, oh, you should kick you to the curb for 20 years. No, I didn't want to get married in my 20s. I wasn't interested. I had no. You know what?
If we
Uh huh.
dated in the 20s and in our 20s, I'm
Hmm.
curious. I don't think you would have kicked me to the curb in 2 years.
Well, I'm not gonna say that. That's kind of a.
Cuz I think like after a certain point, you're going to have to face yourself. You're going to have to grow.
Yeah, but I
You're going to have
just
to learn how to talk, how to communicate, how not to avoid things,
I
and how not to ghost on people.
when I was 25, I
There's
had
a respect level
when I
there.
was 25 years old, I had no understanding of why a person would commit to a person for the rest of their life at the age of 25. You know who taught me
hmm
that? Oprah. I watched Oprah when I was in my 20s, and she was in her 40s at the time. And she
hmm
said, I'm in my 40s. I can't imagine being with the person I dated in my 20s right now.
Yeah, so I'm looking at Oprah's past, and I could see why she would say something like that.
Well, she had Stedman.
She had some challenges growing up, and so when I hear people make statements like that, I do see a very hurt person. Um,
Maybe,
but
but
I just
why can't a person be fully healthy and fully intact and just say that's not for me? Like why is it that we will pathologize people who don't do what we think they should do?
it's not about that. It's about because on some level, as human beings on a
Mm-hmm.
certain level, we have the need for attachments. There
Mm-hmm.
is it's not even just a need. I mean, it is, listen, our need for attachment supersedes our need for food, boys.
Right. So
Okay? So our
what if we're fulfilling our attachment need in some other area of our life? Like maybe I'm attached. Some people get attached to their job, or they get
it's
attached to their dog, or get
it
attached to their city.
it's fear. They're scared. They're scared to really put their guard down and let somebody see them because they're scared that that person's going to reject them. They're going to see them for who they were after a few years. They're going to have to face up to some things and grow. Like, you can't hide but for so long. And underneath all of that is the fear. And so that is
So
an
do you think that?
attachment. We
So do
are
you think that
all need
people?
attachment.
Okay,
Mhm.
so it seems to me that I can also say that people who are determined to have long-term attachments, they have a fear of being unattached.
It's not about
Like they.
determined.
No, but seriously, think about it though. Like my mom.
You're misinterpreting me. But go ahead.
Well, no, but I'm saying though, like anybody, because I think anybody who chooses a certain strategy, in their life, whether it's long-term attachments or a series of short-term attachments, is expressing a fear of not being able to live the life that they want to live. Like if you've been married 30 years, maybe your fear is being single. You're scared to be single. But if you've been single for 30 years, maybe your fear is marriage. I think that's logical. I think that's okay for people to feel. My feeling is do what works for you. As long as you're happy, if you're content with where your life is, then I don't feel like you need help. The only people that need help are the ones who want a certain life and they can't get it because they have something about their personality that's keeping them from getting it. Like I wouldn't pay money. I would not pay money for a basketball coach because I'm not trying to get to the NBA. Like I don't feel like I need to be in the NBA. But if I really felt like I needed to be a better basketball player, then I need a coach. My
Okay.
limitation is that I don't work out enough.
What I'm saying is that as human beings, we need to have that attachment. We desire that attachment as human beings.
I agree.
Hmm.
Okay. So if we desire that attachment, why must it come in the form of a romantic relationship? That's my point. Why can't the attachment be some other type of attachment? Maybe I have a buddy that's my roommate. Maybe it's a long-time girlfriend. Maybe it's my dog. Maybe it's my
Hmm.
job. You know.
I'm not talking about actually having a wedding. I'm not talking about having a wedding and getting married. I'm talking about
Mhm.
the actual attachment to someone.
Okay.
Because marriage is an institution. I mean, we know what that is, what that's about. I'm talking about that being wanting to share yourself with someone in that sort of way. The right person who's right for you, of course.
Mhm.
That is going to require you to grow in a way that you won't be able to grow any
Mhm.
other way,
You know,
and that's what it is.
you know what this reminds me of? This reminds me of 20 years ago
Yeah.
when you and I were just friends, and I was telling you about my dating life, and you were married, and I was telling you, I was like, yeah, I think I'm gonna move on to try something different or something. And you said, but Boyce, why wouldn't you want to find somebody to fall in love with and be with for the rest of your life? And I swear to God, my thought was, well, why would I? I
Yeah.
literally thought that. I literally was like, why would I? I was like, and I think that at that time,
Probably some trust issues you
no,
had.
at that, no. Well, maybe you had issues, right? Right. Instead of saying that I was the one who had the issues, I felt like you were the one who had the issues,
What
right?
issue did I have?
The issue was that I think you married the wrong person.
Well, I did my best to make it work, and it didn't work.
Okay.
So, I mean, I did all I could. And even when I felt like I was at the end of the road, I went around again. I really tried to make it. I really left that situation knowing that I tried everything that I felt I needed to do to make it work, but then it just didn't.
Well, I'm not gonna say
So
anything.
I think that sort of thing was important.
Well, I don't want to say anything negative about him because he's a good guy,
Hmm.
so I'm not gonna say that. But I will say that everybody, I think that Sharon Coleman makes the best comment, and I'm gonna read
Hmm.
that, and I think it's a good thing to go. She says, "You're always happy if you stay true to yourself,
Yeah.
regardless of who's in your life," and I think that we can agree on that.
Wait, who said that?
Sharon Coleman.
Yeah, good job, Sharon. I think that is so true. And I think in that process, when you're dating other people, you learn about yourself. It's almost like you really have to say thank you for that lesson. So everybody that you're in a relationship with, they're there to teach you that lesson, or you wouldn't have picked that person. So I've learned my lesson. I learned my lesson, and you do some. Usually, you learn your lesson and you grow together. Sometimes you don't.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I really feel like I'm just gonna stick with what Sharon said. I like the idea of being true to yourself,
Yeah.
and the thing about it is I was always happy with who I was. I would always sit and reflect, and I gained a lot of self awareness by saying, who am I? What makes me happy? And sometimes I would say, okay, everybody's telling me to do this, but that's not going to make me happy. I'm going to go do that. And then people would try to come in and pathologize my specific choice on what makes me happy. And they'd be like, well, the reason that you like that is because you have this issue or that issue. And I rejected all of that.
Hmm.
I
Well,
was
see,
like, no.
instead of rejecting
Mhm.
everything, like so, if you tell me, "Hey, Alicia," you used to say that to me, "Hey, Alicia, you haven't moved away from home. Maybe you need to move away from home." I never rejected it. I said, "Wow, let me think about that because that's a really interesting statement." And since then I have moved away from home. So I don't I'm not going to be real rigid where no one can say nothing to me and I'm just going to totally out and out reject it. And I
Mhm.
think that's the issue. It's like are you able to like bring in information? Although it may be contrary to what you think, how open are you to new information?
Um, I'm open to it if I need help. Like you're the one who told me in the beginning, if a person don't need help, seriously, I mean, if a motherfucker really don't need help, then you can't help them, right? So there's
Yeah,
some area,
please do
right
not.
there, right?
Yeah, it's a
So
dangerous situation to
mhm,
help somebody who doesn't need any help. And
right.
so, mm-hmm, you was
So
gonna say
so
something?
I would just say to you, like that's my boundary.
Mm-hmm.
Like with you being a therapist, if I need your help, I'll ask you for it. If I don't need your help, I'll say thank you, but I'm good. And that's generally my rule for anything and anywhere and everyone. Like if somebody comes along and says, Boyce, I really want to help you. You're not good enough at basketball. You need to become a better basketball player. So I'm gonna force you to play basketball with me.
Mm-hmm.
I'd be
Yeah.
like, no, but I would be like, no, I don't want to, I don't need to become
Mm-hmm.
a better basketball. I'm happy where I am.
Yeah.
Right. So I think the same thing is true when you talk about people's lives. I think we have to limit our assessment of what I think is the right life for you. If you're happy with your life, then shit, I'm happy for you.
Mm-hmm.
Period.
Mm-hmm. For sure.
All
I
right.
don't disagree with that.
Okay, good. We're on the same page. All
Same
right, guys.
page.
We're gonna get out of here. It was great talking to you. And Alicia's website is coachingwithdralicia.com. She actually sees couples and also individuals on relationship issues. She's a relationship counselor and she's very good at it. And me,
And
I am Dr. Boyce Watkins. And also you can follow her on Instagram at Coaching with Dr. Alicia.
yeah, say what are you, boys?
What?
Talk about yourself. What are you? You are a,
Finance professor? Is
but
that?
yeah, finance professor.
Oh no, that's not about me. But
What do you
well,
mean it's not
here,
about
this is a
you?
good question. So Ellie J J says, I don't think Dr. Alicia would have dated Dr. Boyce in his 20s. So
I
why don't
don't
you answer that
know.
question? What would
You know,
happen?
I never. You. The thing is that you never came to me like you were interested in me, so it never crossed my mind. It never. And it's really interesting because it crossed the mind of people who were friends with me back then.
Yeah, they thought
they
we were dating each other
they
because we
thought
were
we
good
were
friends.
dating, but it honestly never crossed my mind. And the funny thing is that I was single when we dated. I was 19. No, when we met each other, I was 19 years old. I did not get a boyfriend until I was 21, 22. So
Mm.
I spent 19, 20, 21, 20. I spent 3.5 years just being your friend, absolutely single, and you never came to me. You never approached me. And we would be friends. We would hang out with each other. I'd go to your dorm. You'd come over to my dorm. We went to the movies to see Pulp Fiction.
Oh
I
yeah.
remember that. And you never ever gave me any indication that you would remotely be interested in me. You had a girlfriend and you always had some other girl. And the girlfriends that you had, they did not look like me. They did not act like me. They didn't present like me. They were totally different. So honestly, I said, wow, Boyce has a type. And I am definitely not his type of woman.
You took me to see Pulp Fiction. You paid for that.
I paid for the bib because you tutored
Because I
me in
tutored you.
math.
Yeah, I tutored you in math and you took me to the movies as like a thank you.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but you never ever, I never thought, like, I'm floored.
Well, I'm not gonna tell. I'll tell the truth. I was actually a little bit intimidated by your beauty. Like you're the prettiest
I'm
woman
just
I'd
a
ever
single
seen.
lady.
Yeah, and I don't know. I think at that time, yeah, sometimes you just don't know. Like I didn't really learn how to really even talk to women until I got into my 20s because nobody taught me. I had to go like learn and read books and stuff. But actually, I learned a better approach. I instead of learning a bunch of game and a bunch of bullshit, like I just learned how to be like a nice person and be smart. So my way of approaching women
Just be
was,
yourself.
yeah, so I would attract smart women because what I would do is I'd have conversations with them and just talk to them about interesting things, and then eventually at some point we'd get around to something more direct. But I found that women have started to appreciate that, like as I got older, because a lot of women are used to guys kind of coming at them with some sort of you know playbook, you know Like I got
never
this
had
game and that
nobody.
game, and I don't, and honestly, it was great because I attracted more genuine women anyway. Like I attracted the woman who just wanted to be with you and spend time with you and have a good time with you. It wasn't caught up in the superficial. So I'd never dated superficial women. I never dated women that wore like tons of makeup or would put on a big front or were super shallow and materialistic. Every woman I've ever
Okay,
had a
so maybe we're all the same on that level. It's just hard for me because I get maybe physical, like appearance wise, it wasn't much of a.
let me tell you the things you have in common with all the women I've ever been in love with. I've been in love like maybe about 3.5 times. And
That's a lot. That's a lot for people.
That's
Some
whatever.
people maybe once or
Okay.
twice. But go
Well,
ahead.
one thing you all have in common is none of you wore makeup. I didn't even realize that until later. But
Ah,
I
interesting.
never was attracted to the women that were super flashy, and because I saw that as fake. Like I wanted to know the real you. I just it's like me and you,
Uh-huh.
you
And I've
know.
had people tell me, "Oh, Alicia, you should put more makeup on. You need to be more glamorous."
No,
And
I
I
don't.
just,
Mm-mm.
it's just not
There's nothing
me.
appealing. Like I watch shows like Real Housewives and Basketball
Oh,
Wives.
those women, they
eh,
spend, you could tell every
those
day.
those women, they come off to me as weak, shallow, high maintenance, and unbelievably ridiculous and immature and
Uh,
gross. They gross me out. Like I would be embarrassed to have a wife like that. Like people, somebody that's always fronting and always like all caught up in the superficial. Because I'm not like that. I like to be about substance. I'm not. I'm
mm,
not into the fake flash.
yeah.
That doesn't. That's to me. That's a waste of time, money, a waste of energy, a waste of your life. But
Okay.
that's my perspective. So I just like that woman where I can sit back and lay against a pillow with you and have a good conversation and turn on my phone and that's it. We're not in some fancy studio all glammed up trying to look a certain way. No, we're just laying in our damn bed having a conversation that's going to add value to our lives. Emotionally, spiritually, psychologically, everything else.
Yeah, it was tough when we got married. Like I had all that makeup on. That was so tough to wear a lot of makeup.
Yeah,
And it looked nice and
you look
everything.
beautiful. Yeah,
Yeah,
they
it
did a
looked
good
really
job.
nice, but I just wasn't used to.
It was different. It was a different look, but that's cool. Like that's what the
That's what
wedding
they
is.
do.
The wedding's a little bit more like, okay, this is one
You got
day.
to get
Let's
glammed
really
up.
make it into a thing. But outside of that, it's just like no. I mean, and I never deliberately pick women who don't wear makeup. That wasn't an intentional thing. I just think now that I look back on it, I probably just ended up being a little repelled by the women who did wear a lot of makeup, especially when that shit's all caked up on your face. Like there was nothing appealing about that to me.
Yeah.
Fake booties, fake titties, that never appealed to me, and just being a fake person. No, I want to know the real you, and I want to lay back and have a deep conversation with you. And I think at the end of the day, maybe I'm the guy who wants to sit around and figure out the meaning of life. Like why are we here? What's the purpose here? What's gonna make us happy? Who are we? Like I like things like that. I don't like the shallow shit.
Oh, all my space. I'm obsessed with space. So you like all that kind of stuff.
I like all of that. Everything that helps us understand more about our existence is fun for me.
Uh-huh.
And or to put it into a specific context that leads to a certain sort of set of realizations and a set of emotions that can help you feel content. I think contentment is a good term to use to describe what I seek out every day. When I sit on
Mm.
the front porch and I take deep breaths to calm down and let go of the little shit, get in tune with the big shit, the important shit, figure out what the important shit is, figure out where I am, what's my place in the universe, what's my place in my life right now.
Oh, we have a lot of conversations like that.
What do you say?
We have a lot of conversations like that.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
I'm always trying to figure it out. We all are. And that to me is different from like people that are just. That's why I think it's easy for me to identify like when people are brainwashed and stuff like that because I'm watching the world. I'm
It's
watching.
so funny because we'll sit and talk and we'll be like, oh, that person's so brainwashed by this. And then we'll
Yeah,
be like, it's a different type of brainwashing that we see and observe. And
yeah.
I think I like that we connect on that level because there are people in our family that are so brainwashed.
Mm.
And we don't say anything. We'll just lock eyes. We'll be like, here's another one.
Yeah, yeah,
Totally brainwashed.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah, it's
yeah,
funny.
yeah, yeah. So, anyway, we're about to get out of here. We need to get up and start our life. But yeah. So this is Pillow Talk with Dr. Boyce and Dr. Alicia, and we do this every couple of days and lay against our pillows and have conversations about whatever the hell's on our mind. So, if you want to follow this, make sure whatever channel you're on, you subscribe, stuff like that, and also we actually do have the blacklovechannel.com, which is a channel which is all relationshipy talk. So This is
That's a good,
something.
nice little growing channel you got there,
We got
Boyce.
about 5,000 subscribers on it, so it's just something fun to do.
Okay.
All right, guys. Well, have a good day. And and you can follow Alicia if you want to follow Alicia. It's Coaching with Dr. Alicia or coachingwithdralicia.com. So
Yes,
feel free to
please.
take a look. All right, guys. I'm out of here. Have a good day, and we'll see you soon. Take care. Bye bye.